Nishant with us today. Nishant Nayak is the VP e-commerce at the E version of Gitanjali Jewels. So what's the entire thing about going e-commerce with a model that's been so tested and tried in the the retail sector?
Yeah. So Gitanjali is of course a big brand, right? So we are primarily offline. But we look at e-commerce as a strategic future, right? So for us, it will be as big as a business offline as it will be online, and that's big words, right, for us. And the challenge for us is that the company, which is a traditional offline player, is now trying to learn how do we sell our same products online to a different audience, and I think the opportunity is immense, right? So we can't ignore online commerce anymore. I think we are investing significant time and people into these efforts, and our goal is that this will be a major revenue driver in a few years' time. A significant source of our revenue will come from e-commerce.
Oh, that's very interesting, because I think most companies as of today, as we already had around 150 million people access to devices and are online, and around 70 million are transacting, and still e-commerce companies are having a tough time bringing people to transact in as simple a thing like a branded shoe or a branded apparel. And in this case, you're talking about jewelry, which is all trust based.
Absolutely.
So how do you basically crack the trust bit?
Yeah. I think there we have a significant advantage, actually. Gitanjali actually says trust forever in its tagline, and it's been around for 20 years, right? In this country, it's the leader. 50% of branded jewelry is owned by Gitanjali Group, and we have around 30 odd brands under the umbrella, right? And so people know us. They're comfortable with Gitanjali, right? What we are seeing, though, is significant amount of people are coming to us only for the trust factor, because they have seen us around so many years. They see our ads in the newspapers, they see our digital ads, and there is an inherent trust or a mind share that we have built over a significant amount of time. So that is actually coming to play now. People when they see an ad, they search online. In fact, we are now seeing a trend where before they go to a jewelry store to buy, they actually come online, check the catalog, shortlist a few pieces. Some people take a picture of that product, go to a store and say, do you have this piece, right? Oh. And so we are seeing these interesting permutations and combinations of buying experiences which were never possible before, right? So now customers have information at their fingertips. People are learning how to buy jewelry also online. So I'm investing significant resources in content. How do you know this diamond? What are the 4 C's of diamonds? How do you buy gold online? How do you buy diamonds online? So significant amount of time is also now being spent in educating the customers on how to buy. Traditionally, we used to go to the jeweler who used to tell you this is that, but now customers are more informed. They know, they want to understand more about the product. So, they come online, they research a lot of times. People call us, they talk to us for 45 minutes.
Wow.
45 minutes on a phone call for customer service. They're spending on an average 30 minutes on chat, right? So they go really deep, and all because of the Gitanjali name, right? For us, it's that trust and the relationship that we are building for the long term. So e-commerce for us is another touch point in this customer experience. And as long as the customer engages with us with any medium, as long as we are selling our products to that customer, we are extremely happy. So it's actually very interesting for us now. The dynamics are coming to the fore.
That's interesting. Now this brings me to a point wherein you are an offline retailer, and now you're an online retailer. This would mean your inventory management becomes a lot more tougher, because there's a lot of research that is happening online. There's a lot of specific, as you said, this particular design, probably they have a little bit of variations here and there. Yeah. That gets a lot more difficult in maintaining the inventory. So how is that companies like yours is actually looking at inventory? Yeah.
So we actually have significant inventory, right? it's just lying in the stores, right? So we have significant inventory in stores, but for e-commerce, we actually are now moving towards dedicated inventory as well, and for us, that's an investment. Right, and we experiment, and we experimented with a lot of models before. First, from a inventory less model, which is efficient, and we started with that, and then we realized very quickly that customer experience was degrading. Right. Because customers wanted the product in 7 days. For us to manufacture that product was taking significantly longer. So from an inventory less model, we went with the other extreme, right? We tried to get everything under inventory, and then it became a significant cost, right? So now I think we are sort of becoming more intelligent. It's all about how intelligently you are marketing or merchandising your products online, right? So you have to select your top SKUs, probably have inventory for those, right? Do that really well, and for the rest of the orders, the 30% outliers, go into custom, right? So we do a mix of both now, and that's actually starting to show some good results, because ultimately customer experience is improving.
Interestingly, Nishant, there is there are two things this brings me to. One is, most of the people in the conventional old days looked for customized jewelry for, let's say, the weddings or anything else. So what is the percentage of people who still look for customized jewelry, number one, out of the entire gamut of people who are buying it? And on the other side, how do you deal with people who want customized jewelry?
So for us, custom means something a little different. So right. We actually have the designs sort of ready. For us, custom, the way we classify it is, do I have to manufacture the product? So the designs are set, right? We typically, online at least today, we don't have the capability for the customer to design their own jewelry. So that hasn't yet happened, and that's a capability that we are looking at. Obviously, that requires design sense. You need to have a lot more touch points with the customer, and at least online, we must understand this market is not matured enough yet. And so this market is, we are in it for the long haul. So, as and when our customers start asking for these, unique, custom-only designs, it will start making sense, right? And at the end of the day, we have to also look at, what is the cost of providing an experience like that, right? And does it make sense for us? We are very conscious about our costs, right? We are not in the, we are not VC funded.
We don't need to be VCs.
So, we are self-funded. So we are very critical of ourselves. We every transaction of ours is profit making. Right? So we don't do any transactions at a loss. Right? And that's fundamentally different from how e-commerce is today, at least in India it is. So we run a profitable organization focused on costs, and ultimately, as the customer demands for a custom experience, we'll get into it as well. Right now, people are still learning how to buy jewelry online. So, they're experimenting and trying new ideas.
Well, yeah. So that's where the second part of the question comes in, which is there's a lot of hula hoo on people buying online and taking delivery offline, because then they can be assured that they are getting the right thing. Because again, trust factor coming into the picture. I don't know whether the same thing is going to come in the box tomorrow morning. Is what it is. So do you have something of that sort, which is an experience that you're giving?
Today, our online and offline experiences are very separate, and they're actually very different. And it's an evolution for us in the company as well. Today, we tend to look at these two businesses separately. The costs are separate, the P&Ls are different, the teams are separate, right? But like I said, I mentioned before, people are already doing cross-pollination of online and offline on their own, yes. Right? Do we provide services today? Probably we don't, and we don't because, like I said, we're seeing this market evolve. Interestingly, the way we are solving this problem of pick up the product from the store, we have a program called eFranchisee, which is an entrepreneur franchisee.
Yes.
So what happens is, an individual could sign up with us for 5 lakhs, buy some inventory from us, and within their friends and family circle, sell the jewelry, and then we ship it to that person, and then they deliver to the customer. They pick up the check, the money, they take care of all the payments for us as well. So that way, we are now starting to explore models where, there is a touch point. There is an individual that the social circle has that they can reach out to. But in the traditional stores today, the technologies don't really exist for us to make this a seamless experience like in the West, right? So Walmart has done this really well in the West, and it's hard for us today also because a lot of our stores and franchises are in smaller towns. They don't have electricity for a few hours in the day as well. So connectivity, real time, so all these sort of problems do occur. And obviously we would love to fully utilize our offline presence, but today they're separate, but we are solving it in a unique way through a franchisee model.
Yeah, so that's more like the affiliate model, rather customized to the retail segment. You generally have it online as affiliates where they can sell. Here you have the people selling it right for you. Considering all this, considering the fact that the jewelry business actually comes from a very conventional background of people, who probably do not, I would say, do not understand technology, should I say, or correct my words if I'm wrong. To that extent where they can utilize it to the maximum. Is that some way a hindrance to the entire thing? Has that been something that you faced?
So, I'll have a counterpoint to you saying that I'm not from the jewelry industry, right? And I'm from the technology world. I used to be with eBay in the US. I worked in Future Bazaar. So I come from the tech world and I don't know anything. I'm learning jewelry. And I think the same way the organization is learning. I think we are experimenting with different technology platforms. There's not to say there isn't tech talent in the company. I mean, we understand technology. We make educated guesses. Educated sort of decisions on how do we take. Which platform do we go for? We are now moving with a custom-built platform. Earlier we were on a SaaS-based platform. Now we're sort of moving to a more custom-based so that we can have more control over the technology. So we're starting to take those steps, right? The challenge has never, interestingly, so Mahesh Murthy talked about it yesterday as well, is technology is not the problem at all. Even in the company, we rarely talk about the technology problem because it's always about the strategy that we need to follow. And it's, then there is technology for every need that you have. You just need to understand what is your needs. So I think we actually spend enormous amount of time doing the latter, saying, what is it that we really want, right? And then sort of saying, okay, then this technology might make sense for us, rather than saying, let's all build these amazing technologies and then figure out a use for it. We work, completely differently. We say, this is a business use case. Should we now invest in technology? And then we go ahead and do it. So we haven't met resistance at all internally at all. It's all about, can you justify the expense? We obviously are money-minded business.
Very true.
And so we, as long as we can make a justification that this is going to help reduce costs, increase efficiencies, everything that you're supposed to do with technology anyway, as long as you can make those justifications, and we have seen that happen, we haven't ever faced a problem that the company says don't invest, right? So we're definitely doing those things.
So considering the same, there's always a tussle on the e-commerce front where the investment, whether it's investment towards technology that has to be done, or is it towards advertising and promotion. So what percentage do you would you allocate to technology vis-a-vis advertising and why?
0 to both. So actually, we actually spend very little money on advertising and technology. We spend very little because everything for us is ROI based. Everything. Right now we are and it also changes. For example, we have done significant technology changes as we migrated to a newer platform. So for that amount of time, we sort of didn't invest too much money in advertising and marketing while we got the experience right for the customer. And as and when we start getting the technology right, the experience right, then we start shifting some of those costs, expenses into advertising and marketing as well. but at the end of the day, right, we are not, again, we can't compete with the big e-com sites who are spending so much money on advertising. We don't spend too much money at all on digital marketing today. But it is something that we are looking at. We understand it. We are just now waiting for the right time to start investing, and we are investing. It's just how much more to put, right? We're not burning money. We're making money, right? We are profitable. So
yeah. Just recently in one of the conversations that you were having during lunch, I overheard that you tend to use a lot of other e-commerce channels apart from your own website to actually go through. What is this? What is the strategy all about? And I think we should start discussing numbers. I haven't got the percentages yet, but I think that's a good way to start. So, what is the percentage, among the different channels that you use? Number one, number two, what is the percentage of your retail sales versus your e-commerce sales? So, if you can give me percentages.
Some of those numbers are really small. Anyway. See, with regards to third-party, e-commerce sites, ultimately we are a brand, right? So we want our products to be accessible to customers wherever they're comfortable. So if they're comfortable on going to, say, Jabong or Flipkart or Amazon or eBay, we are perfectly fine with that. As long as the brand experience remains the same, the pricing and everything is under control, it's perfectly fine for us because it's our product, and let the customer choose from where they have the best experience or the best pricing, right? So we have uniform pricing, so everybody gets the same discounts, everybody gets the same promotions, and if they want to do something on their own, then they do it, right? And it works fine for us, right? And at the end of the day, let the consumer decide where they want to buy from. We talked about ratios about e-com to, I would say majority of our sales today come from third-party sites and not our own. And that's upwards of 60% is third-party sites. Over time, though, we are trying to rebalance that ratio. Obviously, to nothing against our e-com partners. I mean, we love the business we are doing. We would only want that to keep increasing. But we are seeing that a lot of customers also prefer coming to our sites to get the full experience of Gitanjali. We don't share the entire catalog with all e-com sites. That's because they can't handle, we sell 8,000 odd SKUs in jewelry today, and that's not even our entire full catalog available within the group. So of that, e-com sites only do a very small fraction of what they sell. Is a very small percentage of that.
What would it be in the numbers? Probably
in the low low thousands is very low. And so what happens there is, customers, the fast moving products and everything go on the e-com sites, but for the full experience, they always, they come to our sites, and not all sites have, they don't want the same products. So some of them will have one catalogs, they choose what they want to sell on their site, and we advise them on what will work and what will not. So again, it's a balance, right? And then all we are saying is, let the consumer decide. And if the consumer wants to have the full experience of what the Gitanjali group offers with 30, 40 odd brands that we have, then they come to Gitanjali Gifts, and they look at that site, and they make a choice. And ultimately, as long as we have served the customer and they bought a Gitanjali product, we're very happy, right? So as long as they haven't gone to a competitor, that's the job done.
All right. So coming to the last two questions out here. One was about competition itself. Now there are a lot of players out there who have the potential to go online, who are probably even older than Gitanjali is at this point in time. If they all enter into the market, do you think that will be, that's something that's going to be a healthy competition out there, or is it going to be, snatching the piece of the pie, which is going to get really chaotic? What is that you?
If you look at simple analogy is, go to any mall, any street, find one jeweler, and right next to them there'll be 3 or 4 of them, right? And all from different companies. They all coexist, they all survive, right? They're all making money, right? I think online will also become, it's never, zero-sum game. For us, it's about, right now where we are in the jewelry market, we think the jewelry market in India online has a long way to go. Right? It's only about 300, 400 crores. Even there, fine jewelry is a very small percentage. Most of it is fashion jewelry and watches, that people are buying online. Whereas, fine diamonds, the solitaires, is still a very small percentage of that is online. So we have a very, very long way to go, right? And it's great if competition comes in, because right now what the customer needs is more variety and choice so that the market expands. And we want more customers to prefer online buying, right? And that leads to the bigger market. And that's great for everyone. And let the best brand win, right? Let the customer decide who's the better brand. And so, but for that, the whole market needs to mature significantly. Jewelry is where, in our estimate, is about where fashion was 3-4 years ago, right? People used to think, who's going to buy a t-shirt online, jeans online, my fittings and my shoes. And today it's completely normal, right? People don't even blink an eyelid and say, oh, I'm going to go check it online. And jewelry is where we are, I think, 3-4 years behind. And even in a few years from now, people will say, I don't have time to go to a jewelry store. Why did you go on? You could just have gotten it online, delivered to your home. So it's about the market maturing. Competition is always healthy. It has to be. I mean, even today, there's so many. Go to Jaipur, there's a jeweler on every corner.
Okay.
But they all survive and they're doing extremely well. That's because that's how big this market will get. And so all of us, and the top 2 or 3, the cream rises to the top. And so the best brands will eventually rise to the top. And they'll get significant share of the jewelry market.
Just about the talking about your the money that you make, right? So can you tell us something about the kind of ticket size, the price point at which people buy online versus the price point where people buy offline? And on the online space again, you have this huge risk component of COD, cash on delivery. I think you're also a part of the COD. This one, no, not yet. All right. So if you had to adopt to that, how do you cope up with the price?
So our ASP differs on where it sells, right? So obviously in the store it's very different. I don't have store numbers actually, but in online, on our site it's above 10,000, whereas on our online partners it's below 7,000, right? So it also has to do with from where the customer is buying it, because the customer profile on the e-com site is very different from ours. Right? We sell fine jewelry on our site. People come and buy diamond rings or necklaces from us, whereas on the online site it's mostly a gold coin or a gold jewelry. So the ASPs tend to differ depending on where they buy it, right? So, and again, for us, it's all about the customer. Wherever they prefer to buy, it's perfectly fine with us. We don't actively push customers in any channel today at all. So, and then you talked about COD. We don't offer any COD on our site at all, because our products are inherently risky in terms of there's a lot of return rates in this industry. It's actually incredibly high.
So that's my next.
Yeah. So there are specific challenges around COD as well. Around managing COD is a problem. Return rates are higher. So we actually don't have COD on our site at all. Some of our e-commerce sites partners have tried doing COD, but I've seen them actually cut it down. And we are seeing continued government regulations coming in. So recently there's a government mandate now to stop EMI on gold. So now that's also significantly going to impact how people purchase on credit gold. Yes. And all these things are sort of happening in this industry at this time. And ultimately we believe that prepaid is the best way to go. Credit is incredibly hard because our products are much higher value. So when a return comes back, the loss is just significantly higher. So we don't do COD.
So I just ended with this part. When you're talking about returns being high, you're talking about security of that particular product. Now you're not talking about a very small price point here. You're not talking about a few hundreds. You're always talking a few thousands, and probably in some cases lakhs.
Double-digit thousands, yeah.
Yeah, so double-digit thousands of lakhs. In this case, have you experienced, places where it didn't get delivered at all, or that kind of problems, and how do you tackle such situations?
So yeah, I mean, as we sort of matured in e-commerce, we definitely, our predecessors, have actually gone through that pain as well. Actually, the way we now, we are slightly sort of becoming more focused on, saying, let's not deliver all over India, let's focus on places where we can deliver the best experience. So, we work with a few courier partners and, who have live tracking and everything, and they're professional companies. So there we are sort of, with that approach, we are able to not only manage online tracking, but, guarantee delivery in that sense. So, there's a significant amount of, very, very small towns from where we do get orders on and off, but the challenge there is that there is no infrastructure there to deliver in a timely manner. Tracking is not available many times, and in a jewelry product, you would like to know where is that 10,000 rupee necklace that you just bought, right? And there are some times when we are not able to meet those expectations, and it's a huge challenge. And the logistics in the country is not designed to handle high value, high risk items today. It's it was all set up for documents, and now they're selling shoes and t-shirts, and now now they have to start shipping gold coins, and it's a hugely risky process for them. So, but we are working very closely with the courier companies, logistics companies, and they are actually now creating new products specifically for the jewelry industry. And so you'll start seeing the industry coming together to solve these problems as well. And so we are at the forefront of that with FedEx and the RMX and Blue Dart. So we ship through those today.
Oh, that's very interesting. So basically, looking at this, we can positively conclude that once you start building an industry, it's like everything will contrive to be favorable in this per se. So everybody is going to make solutions for you, and everybody is going to start accepting you as a person. It's just the moment to start off. And I think as eGitanjali, you've done a wonderful thing by taking the first step, succeeding even those people who have been in business for quite a long time. Yeah. So that's a wonderful thing. I wish you success, of course. Thanks a lot, Nishant. Thanks for the